So here's a bit of luck, which I did not design into this, but somehow it ended up that way. I can actually do that. So I can put it in and then lock it into place. So that's called lucky engineering. So the issue I have is when I'm working out here, these doors want to blow all over the place in the wind. And the wind gets so strong, doors are so large, they have a large surface area, that even though I brace them with 4x4s, they still blow. They blow the 4x4s right off the deck. This little thing only works in one direction and it gouges the deck, so that's got to come off. I have to develop something that will brace it in both directions. That's the problem to be solved today. Proof of concept. Sandwich these two together. Take this chunk out so it'll sit on both sides of the door. And then mount this on the underside and then drill a 20 millimeter hole into one of the deck boards. It's basically making this an insert and hoping that with the channel deep enough, it won't just pivot around. It'll only go so far, but it won't move. I know it will pivot a bit, but hopefully I can get these cut close enough so they'll basically just barely fit around the side of the door. That way I can put this over the door, slide it down, and let this drop into the hole that I drill into the deck. So let's get it mocked up. Okay, of course the boards are not flat, so I'm going to try and plane them so they'll at least stick together, glue together well. It's a little hard because the knot's right in the center there, but I think we got it pretty much. Now we'll glue these together and then we'll cut a notch. Okay, got it gluing up. So I will let that sit. Probably. So I will let this sit overnight, and tomorrow come out and measure and cut for the slots. Okay, a little change of plans. Originally, I was going to cut the cutout this way, so the door was like that. But then when the wind blows, there could have been some wobble. So I've changed it so the door will fit into the slot this way, and this will be directly on one side of the door. So as the wind blows either way, this should keep it stationary. That's the plan. Anyway, the moment you realized you might not have thought it all the way through. So the bandsaw is not going to be the option. Looks like I'm going to be using the handsaw. Oh, I thought I was going well. Cut it down with the handsaw, started hitting it with a hammer and chisel, and then this popped off. So since this is the part that I have to drill, I don't think glue is going to hold that tight enough. So I just ended up with a bunch of freaking firewood. So we're starting over. But this time, before I laminate the two pieces together, I'm going to cut them and test fit the slot and then glue them together, which is what I should have done the first time. Well, live and learn. Well, lucky for me, I still got plenty of free construction leftovers. Only problem is now I gotta replane all of it. So I think these two pieces, they look good and used. Hopefully not too warped. Can I make the... Oh, that works. Both bowed in the same direction, so... Alright, so smart this time. I am going to cut out the notch on board 1, transfer the mark to board 2. Drill the hole for the dowel. After they're glued, I think. Just go straight through. That way the hole is kind of straight. I don't know. Maybe I drill. Maybe I cut and drill and then transfer the marks. Yeah. So at least I don't have to spend a lot of time planing these. So we'll get the measurements and the cut done and go from there. Okay, got the two parts cut. I pre-drilled one of the holes. I'm going to glue this together now, let it sit overnight, and then when it's together, I'll finish boring out over there. And then before I put the rod in and glue it and commit it, I will lay this on the deck with the door in so I get the hole in a right spot so this thing will actually work, so it won't be misaligned and then the door doesn't fit. So next up, glue these two together and let them sit. So live and learn. A little mistake from earlier. Ended up with some firewood. It's all free lumber, so I don't feel too bad about it. But just when you're starting to think you're a genius, life reminds you that you're not as smart as you think sometimes. So I thought we'd be done with this project today, but looks like tomorrow is going to be the day. Okay, so we'll let that sit overnight. The glue dry real good. Then tomorrow we'll sand it up, clean it up. I don't know, maybe put some protectant on there. So, it moves into day 3. Okay, so we got it all glued up. Did get the hole drilled all the way through. So our plan now is probably going to burn it a little bit and then treat it with some kind of oil. Then I will go sit it down on the deck with the door in the slot in the position I want, and then use the full hole to drill the hole exactly in the deck where it needs to be. Then we'll come back and put one of these in there, cut it off just about that long, just enough to sit in there to keep this stationary. Glue it up. And I'm thinking about putting some of these in. It's not going to take a lot of abuse, but since it'll be out exposed in the elements sometimes, I figured this might stiffen up the bond between the two a little better. So that's where we're at right now. Okay, we're going to try and do a little burn here. It's a little windy, but we will see. Okay, so the stain's done, and put a little bit of this polyurethane on. Now it is interior, but this isn't going to be sitting outside when I'm not using it. So just a little bit of a protectant. So once this dries tomorrow, we'll be able to get it fitted and drill the hole in the deck and put a check mark on this project, hopefully. Okay, polyurethane is dry and the peg is inserted. Also drilled the hole in the deck. So let's go test it out. So here's a bit of luck, which I did not design into this, but somehow it ended up that way. I can actually do that. So I can put it in and then lock it into place. So that's called lucky engineering. So you might be thinking it's a bit overkill for a doorstop. But just every little project, even though how minor it is, I still try to practice my burning and staining techniques. So had a problem with this big door blowing in the wind, and nothing I propped against it was strong enough to hold it. Now it ain't going nowhere. Steady in place. All right, and that's it. Thanks for watching this little teeny tiny project that I way overthought and way overdid. Catch you on the next one.